Hello, James here. Oops. I wanted to show you a video, and this dealing with relationships, and it's a really interesting outtake and outlook. And I'm going to show you a couple videos, and it's going to be really about why I say some of the comments that I do. But a couple of these commentators going to back up what I've been saying about why some women they like crazy dudes.
So today, these young women, and I feel for y'all young brothers out there. Oh, shout out to all my young brothers, my millennial and Gen Z brothers. Because boy, I understand why some of y'all young brothers are getting your passports and moving around these days. Let's review. What's something toxic that you like?
Okay. So if I say leave me alone, he don't leave me alone. He might do at my door.
But what's up? Okay, this first one. So what she wants, fellas, is if she said leave her alone, she wants you to be risking going to jail. Because if you keep banging on the door and doing all that, she calls the cops going to come there and arrest you. So in order to please her, you got to basically get a harassment charge. Okay.
Toxic that you like? I like a gentle toxic. Like after you beat my ass, I want you to come to me right after.
Now that was a gentle toxic. So you're supposed to physically beat her, right? Once again, putting yourself in the criminal justice system. If she calls 911 because you beat her, and then after beating her, you're supposed to lay down with her and bounce up and down on her body. That's what she likes. And if you're not the type of guy that's willing to risk your freedom for these kind of women, they don't want nothing to do with you. Let's continue.
Something toxic that you like?
Okay, low key, I like when they beat my. I'm not gonna lie. We arguing, like, bro, you gotta put me in my place. You feel me? So now I'm gonna feel like I can beat you.
What's something toxic that you?
This is another one. They say that if you don't physically hit them, then they feel like they can run over you. Like, fellas, do not get in no relationship with any woman that wants you to physically beat them. Don't do that. Because your freedom is nothing but a phone call away from that female. Because those same females that you're not talking about is how many times they call a cops on the boyfriend. Some of them do not want a peaceful relationship. They don't want that. That's why you fellas, when you see any of that toxicity from them, you run to the passport office and run for the hills. Because who's raising these kids? These young ladies are very young. Who's their old ratchet mammy? Because see, let me tell you something. That Sexy Red and Sukihana, that's a lot of their mamas. Okay? That's why they get mad when you talk about Sexy Red and Sukihana. You want to check them about their behavior, and they want to say respectability, politics, and oh, nothing wrong with them. They just having fun because they remind them of their mammy. And the Sexy Reds and Sukihanas raised this, what you see in the video. Let's continue.
I like to argue, and I don't like to be wrong, so I keep the argument going. Hey, what's something toxic that you like?
Arguing. Men don't argue. So men don't even get involved with that, but okay.
I like the slap the out of me when I'm talking crazy. What's something toxic that you like?
Another one. She wants physical abuse. What is up with these young women that want to be abused physically? What is wrong with y'all? Once again, young men, do not partake in anything that's going to take away your freedom. I'm going to repeat that again. You're one phone call away from going to jail, fooling with that female. And so many men in prison right now behind that toxic kind of female.
Choking. Something toxic that you like? For the guy to blow.
That one just said choking. All this. I'm just floored, ladies and gentlemen. I'm floored. And if you got a problem, why you stop the video? I get them comments. It is a review channel. That's what we do here. If you don't like it, move on. So these are the young women. Once again, stay away from them, fellas. Stay away. You have to learn to get some discipline, and definitely in your de-discipline. Understand that a woman always gonna have a look to them, but what matters the most is the inside of that woman. I know it sounds cliche, but once you get past the aesthetic, then you gotta deal with that woman. Those women are damaged. Those women got problems. If you have to hit them, choke them, slap them, bang on the door because they not, something's wrong with them. Do not fall into their world of insanity. They are mental cases, all of them. And don't let a mental case take away your freedom. There are women that out here that would not act that way, that would not want you to put your hands on them. They want to cooperate, want to love you, and everything else. But this little fad of with these guys, because some guys, now I gotta admit, some guys do like toxic women like that. Oh, they love it. They do not want a woman that's not toxic. So I can't just say it's all them, because you got some guys who are mental cases too. Because you're a mental case if you think that's okay, or you don't want a girl who's decent because you just gonna get bored with that because you want some toxicity, you want some screaming, yelling, hitting, cussing. You want that, or you feel like that's exciting. Yeah, something wrong with you. And probably sexy red or Suki Honda, your mammy too. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this toxic, little women. Like I said,
Divesting Gone Wrong, featuring Berlina Wallace. Who is Berlina Wallace? Berlina Wallace is a resident of Westbury Park, Bristol in the United Kingdom. In September 2015, she allegedly poured sulfuric acid on her ex-boyfriend, Mark Van Dongen. The attack left him disfigured, blind in one eye, paralyzed below the neck, and forced to amputate his lower left leg. The pain from the attack caused him to commit euthanasia in January 2017.
The acid burning through his skin, the frantic voice of Mark Van Dongen is heard in the background of a neighbour's call for help.
What's happened to you? Somebody took after they say acid phone they say. Yeah. Who does it to you, please? His ex.
Laughing, Berlina Wallace threw the acid, telling her ex-boyfriend, "If I can't have you, no one else will." She even tried to blame him, but the jury saw through it.
He said to me it was water. I've got water for you, like come and take your medication and go to bed. He wanted me to burn my insides.
Wallace researched whether her liquid weapon could kill. The 98% pure sulfuric acid bought online burned through the bedding. The damage to Mark Van Dongen by the woman who once loved him was so severe, Mark's father didn't even recognise his own son when he arrived.
In April 2018, Berlina Wallace was on trial for murder and applying a corrosive fluid with intent. Before the attack, Berlina Wallace had been in a 5-year relationship with Mark Van Dongen, who worked as an engineer in the construction industry. The pair had split a few weeks before the alleged attack in September 2015, with the victim moving in with his new girlfriend, Violet Farquharson. Now Violet Farquharson was a black woman who Mark met on a dating site. She was his mistress. Here's what Violet said during the trial. She told the court that she wasn't best pleased when she found out he was already in a relationship. Giving evidence from behind a curtain, Ms. Farquharson said, "We had spoken about the importance of integrity as a human being. I made it very clear I wasn't prepared to have a relationship with him if he was still with his girlfriend." She added, "He said that he would like to have some hobbies, but that she was very controlling over him." She said she had met Van Dongen on a dating website at the end of July 2015, barely 2 months before the alleged acid attack. The court heard that in a series of text messages, Van Dongen texted Ms. Farquharson to say that he had broken up with Wallace. But the following day, he said that Miss Wallace has returned home and they had talked all night, and he seemed to call things off with Ms. Farquharson. He wrote, "Hi Vi, I'm really sorry. I think you're an amazing person. You've really opened my eyes." She came back last night and we talked all night. "I'm not a person who cheats or has affairs. I'm really sorry for dragging you into my problems. You don't deserve that." He added that Miss Farquharson would always have a special place in my heart. But later that same day, he texted her again saying he couldn't stop thinking about her and admitting that he was HIV positive. He wrote, "I didn't know how to tell you, so I took the easy way out. I'm too weak and afraid to be alone." 4 days later, on August 20th, he warned her that Miss Wallace had hacked his email and not to send anything to that email anymore. He wrote, "She hacked my email last night. Please don't send anything to that email anymore. Going to stay in a hotel from now on." On September 23rd, 2015, Berlina Wallace threw sulfuric acid over her ex-boyfriend Mark Van Dongen's face and body after telling him, "If I can't have you, no one else can." He suffered 15 months of pain before being granted euthanasia in Belgium, where his family lived, in January 2017. Wallace was told she would have to serve 12 years, minus time she has spent on remand, before she could be considered for parole. Notice how this white man, Mark, had HIV and was on dating sites looking for black women? Notice how abusive Berlina was towards him, yet instead of finding a white woman to take care of him, he remained looking for black women. Why is that? That's because a white man with HIV is still a prize to black women. Black women do not have standards for white men except that he has to be white. Had Berlina not thrown acid on this white man, I wonder how many more black women were to step up and sex him without taking him to the clinic first. Divesting gone wrong.
The 2023 Kia Sorento. It's the perfect blend of style, comfort,
I don't
and
know what's
adventure.
wrong with these women these
You'll
days.
be well equipped for any outing with Sorrento's
Well, look at this hit job. This hit job is going to explain why Keisha's like her should be aware of stingy men. Listen to this. Listen to this craziness.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about stingy men and how you can avoid them if you do not want to have role reversal in your relationships. I'm making this video because I have encountered stingy men. I haven't seriously dated anyone that was really stingy and tight-fisted, but I have encountered them and they all say similar things. So I want to let the ladies know some of the signs, some of the things that I've heard from men that are stingy, so that you can see the signs. I've noticed that some women will settle down or make these guys their boyfriends or even their husbands, and the role reversal in their relationships causes the women to be very resentful, angry, and frustrated in the relationship. So rather than going down that road with someone and being
role reversal? What are you talking about? You know, she's already off rails. Role reversal. Stingy men? Why? What, they start paying once they get in relationships? What is she talking about already? Not making any sense. Let's go.
Angry about it. It's good to try to see the signs beforehand and just avoid that type of person if that's not what you're looking for. A question that I've heard some men say is, what do you bring to the table? I don't like this question, and I don't answer this question. And
Remember, black men, when I say Keisha can't stand this question. Remember. And you don't answer it? Let's go.
I'll tell you why in just a moment. I've never asked a man, what do you bring to the table? Getting to know a man, I've never asked him, what do you bring to the table? When you ask someone...
You know why? Men usually ask that. You know why? Because black men particularly know what they bring to the table. They already know what they bring to the table. They bring discipline. They bring stability. They bring you want to be protected, right? They bring protection. This is what black men bring. Black men bring order. So if black men know they have all these qualities, the question is, what do you have? It's an easy question for black men. It's an easy question. But black men ask the question because they know what they bring. You don't ask the question because you don't want the question to, now you have to answer it. You don't like the question because you don't want to be asked. Why? Because you bring nothing. That's why. Absolutely nothing. What do you bring? A face full of makeup. Look at all this makeup. You bring a face full of cake batter. And you're a big Keisha. Let's go.
Someone, what they bring to the table, it's a way to make them work for your approval and try to prove themselves to you. And although I like to present my best self, I don't intend on proving myself to someone.
When they go get a job, when they working for, their boss at work, Every day they go and prove themselves. Every day. Every day they're working for their boss approval. But when it comes to the men that they're with, you don't want to work for their approval? These the same men that you live with. These the same men that take care of you. These the same men that make sure you're not homeless. The same men who put their lives on the line for your protection. Yet you don't want to work for their approval, but you work for your boss's approval. And if you don't get his approval, you get sacked.
As someone living with type 2 diabetes, I want to keep it real and talk about some risks. With type 2 diabetes, you have up to...
And if you don't get his approval, you get sacked. This is ridiculous. I'm telling y'all. Cake batter. Look at all this. Look at all this. Talk about liars. This is a lie. Look at all this cake batter. You can tell the skin is bad. Remember, shout out to the brothers in the Patreon. Remember that picture I showed y'all? Remember the post I showed with all the Keishas? Yeah, like 7, 8 Keishas without their makeup. They had space craters, moon bumps all over their face.
You either like me, you get to know me, but I don't go out into the world trying to prove myself to someone. This question, I feel like when you ask someone what they bring to the table, it's a very easy thing to learn about someone. In deep conversation, you can learn about someone's morals, you can learn about someone's convictions, you can learn about their hobbies, their interests, what they do for work. Because a lot of times, someone might want to know what you do for a living so that they can see, how much you work. And even, as a woman dating a man,
No, men weren't doing that before. They were asking, basically, what are your qualities? You couldn't answer that. Black men, I'm telling you to ask these questions if you were any one of them to know how much they're making. Yes. They fought to work. They the reasons why, men of all races now have to work, 2 jobs. And we talk about all women here. During World War II, right, when the men left and those factories were available, the workforce was just empty and they needed to fill those factories. All races of women just started going and filling these factories. They started filling these factories up. And they started paying them half of the pay that they usually would pay the men. The thing is, when the men came back, they came back and got half of what they usually was getting paid because all the women were in the workforce. And now they telling men, hey, listen, we can't give you what we used to give you because now we got to employ them also, right? So now you have to use your paycheck and her paycheck to make sure you're able to pay all the bills because the men don't get as much as they used to when they weren't going to war. When they weren't going to war, before war, and plus you got to remember, World War II was not too far after the Depression, the Great Depression, right? So, the workforce was everything to men, period. Whether they were working in the docks or the factories or construction or whatever. You had women, flooding the market now. So now they cut everything. They had cut everything, right? This is what they fought for. They fought for that, right? So if you fought for that, right, you fought to be somewhere on the same level as us. That's what you did. You fought for that, right? Okay, so now since you want to be out there working, right, even though Keisha don't make that much money, right, And you still have to ask them, hey, what do you bring to the table? Yeah, how much money do you make? Because they have no problem asking you that, black man. And since you want to be in the workforce, these are the questions that's going to be asked of you now. Since you want to be out there, since you want to compete with men, because that's what they do, they want to compete with men. These are the questions asked of you now. And I'm telling you, black man, don't feel ashamed asking. Don't look at yourself and think of yourself as less than asking, because that's the way they want it, so that's the way it's going to be. Yeah, and the reason why they have a question with that, because they usually don't make that much. They usually don't make that much. And since they always crying about the money that they don't make, and since they always crying about the wage gap, if they actually told the men that how much they actually make, right? The men are gonna look at them like, you got all these stipulations, you got all these standards, on how to date you, yet you got no money, you're broke. So they don't want to tell how much they make, but they want to know how much you make. The thing is, black men, even if you make average amount of money, right? I'm telling you, even if you make the average amount of money, your money is being used in a way where you won't end up in debt. Your money is being used wisely. They make the average Keisha makes around $36,000, yet they live like they make $90,000, and that's the reason why they're in debt. They have no money management at all. That's the reason why they're in debt. So yeah, you ask them these questions because you get with them, right? And then if you find out they're in debt, they're poor, all of a sudden you're poor. And that's the reason why I say don't get with them for many reasons, but that's one of the reasons too. Financially, you're gonna end up done. You're gonna end up broke. You're gonna have rabbit ears as pockets. You're gonna have rabbit ears. You're not gonna have no resources.
My doctor told us about GoodRx to help us save money on our prescriptions.
Did you know? Passport bros in there. 2 guys, a girl, and me, right? And they were talking about how men want younger women. As time, women's value go down, men's value go up. And I said, well, that's not true because most men are average.
Yeah, if you want like a second, third, fourth wife, Morocco is the place to be, basically.
I said, so by your logic, wouldn't men be born at the wall since most men don't have value to get the woman they want?
Welcome back to More to Life. Before I get into this video, ask that you like, comment, subscribe. Also, smash the notification bell just to be sure you get my videos as soon as I release them.
So people are asking me, why did I come up with the term, oh, men are born at the wall? And I'll tell you how it all happened. So I was in a TikTok live, a debate, and it was about 3 passport bros in there, 2 guys, a girl, and me, right? And they were talking about how men want younger women, men want women under 30, and men want women who have no children, right? Like how they are what men want, and men will leave, like basically women over 30 will be alone, right? And how if a woman is 30, she is at the wall, like she's post-wall, she's in no man's land or something like that. So I got up there and I was like, well, like I'm so so new to this stuff. So when I first heard it, I was just like, wait. I was like, well, that wouldn't make sense. And he was like, yeah, as time, women's value go down, men's value go up. And I said, well, that's not true because most men are average. Most men don't obtain enough value to get the young, attractive women. I said the women you guys want are in high demand. Men would have to compete. Is that not true? Like, it's not enough women under the age of 30 for every single man who wanted. That would leave some men single. And I said the average man makes about $50K a year. Like the average man isn't up there in enough value to get a young woman, retire her, make her the housewife, and have her raise the kids in a traditional way. Like that's just not happening anymore.
That's what you said.
I said, so by your logic, wouldn't men be born at the wall since most men don't have value to get the woman they want, and since there are more men, like it's like double the amount of men on dating apps than women, so technically wouldn't that mean men are born at the wall, and if they obtain value, which most men won't, wouldn't that put them at the same wall as the women they claim, are there? And the whole live got quiet. The whole live got quiet.
You see, she's trying to break down what happened was she was in a live with some young bucks, right? Yes, that is right. What that means is that there's not enough high-value men for these women. Exactly. That's what it means. It's bad for you, not for men. Because these men with 3 passes, I don't think they realize, man. That's why I think men need to learn certain things for you having to debate a woman. It's really common sense once you know it, right? That's why it's bad for women. She doesn't realize what she just said. That makes it bad for women. I think I need to go on this post and say, hey, look, no, you're wrong. Those guys were right, but they didn't know it. Everything you explained. Woman ain't dirty. Yes. Then you start looking for a man. You know why? Men control marriage. We control it. And with all of the men leaving because the women are downtrodden, those men that are making $50,000 still have a way. Yes. The high value men in the West have a way, and the low value men have a way. But what we're proving online is with passport says you women barely have a way unless you change. Nothing's gonna happen. No, not gonna happen. That's what's being shown. There's women in the West that are leaving and finding men. Like for instance, the woman that went to Thailand, what did she do? She humbled herself and changed. Yes, you have to change. In order for things to get better for you, you have to change. So the whole life getting quiet with some young guys, quiet, no idea what's going on in the world. And they're speaking on things they know nothing about. And you don't know anything about it either. And she thinks she's right. And I forgot somebody responded to a comment. It was some woman and how things were. And I told the guy, he was supporting, he's supportive, of course. He's probably passionate for himself. And, women don't realize, what happened? Sin came in the world because of women. She brought it to a man. That's when women aren't supposed to be in leadership positions. But you know what? Let women hear that, though. With the way things are being set down, let women hear, oh, it's not true. No, it is true. Women are not supposed to be pastors, naturally. But then you have a whole bunch of women coming to post that are female pastors thinking it's the right way, but it's not. Because of the first thing. That's why women bleed every month. But and that's facts. But let the wrong people hear that. They go, oh, well, no, you're wrong. Oh, well, no, you're wrong. Oh, well, no, woman evolved. Woman created us. No, it's not true. Woman didn't create us. God created us. Emotional, damn it. But I'm gonna finish.
It was like you can hear a pin drop. Everybody stopped talking. And then one of the guys was like, kiss her bro, just kiss her bro. And I just was like, no, this is a genuine question. So one of the guys was like, well, technically, yeah, you're right. Technically, we are born at the wall because, the average man doesn't have a lot of options. So I started doing my research, and
that's why they leave. You start doing your research. The research is all men can win. That's why this is the way. This is the way. This is the way. Planes flying everywhere. Just pick the planes. Pick the planes going everywhere. Show some woman from Philippines. Show some woman from Colombia. Show some woman from Russia. Show women from Germany. Show women from, I can name anywhere. Japan. Show women from Korea. Right? Show women from everywhere. This is the way. There's more women outside the West than in the West. What are you talking about?
About it, that it was true. That according to their logic, men are born at the wall because the average man doesn't gain enough, value to, I guess, not be at the wall. And ever since then, it just was like Nightmare on Elm Street. Like, it just went bizarre. And I'm just like, you're free to debate me. And so I found out that only 40% of men ever procreated. Most men are lonely. I started finding all this stuff out. And I just was like, I kind of wish I never found out this stuff. If I knew it was this intense for people.
I'm happy you found it out. Wanna know why? Because when you eventually see this, I'm actually gonna post you on this. I'm gonna post this on the same one here. And you're gonna know, this is the way. This is the way. They were in the wrong line talking about things they didn't know about. But anyway, let me keep going. I gotta make this video more about than just you.
Clip on the podcast, and the brother was basically saying like, yeah, if you want like a second, third, fourth wife, Morocco is the place to be, basically, because it's relatively cheap to have a second wife. You know, you can go over there, get married. The women there are, you know, quite submissive, and because
so, man, this is sad. Now you're seeing Muslims. It's everywhere, right? You're seeing Muslim women who are complaining about money, right? So I think they're from Britain, I guess. I've got a British passport, marriage material. Now, so this is a Muslim guy. Has to be a Muslim guy. That's my second, third, and fourth wife, right? He's right. He's right. He didn't say anything wrong. In that community, Muslim community, in that religion, right? They're able to have 3 or 4 wives. They can afford it. What he's saying is, if you want one woman, which a lot of guys do, go there. And he didn't say anything wrong.
because you're British, and you know you'll be sending them money, you know, for as easy as like £300 a month. You could just send her £300 a month, and because of the exchange rate, etc., she's going to be happy to be receiving that, and you can safely have a second wife there. She doesn't have to live in the UK. You can travel between each country, because obviously Morocco is not far, it's not that expensive to get to. And yeah, like I advise brothers to basically yeah, he was basically like, if you want a second, third, or fourth wife, that's where it's at. And he wasn't Moroccan, and people were just, well,
I'm really offended for Moroccan sisters, but
Moroccans, men and women.
Yeah, man, it's wild. It's everywhere now. The man and woman attitude is everywhere, and of course it's a little off, but the man said nothing wrong, right? The man, he believes in having more than one wife. He's probably Muslim, because you ladies are Muslim, and he said something that was a fact. It's easier, it's cheaper, if your dollar goes a longer way. And what it is women are mad. Pastor bros found the cheat code. This is the cheat code to life, you know, relationships to life. And you know what? In the beginning of time, we were told to fill the world, right? Fill the world. Remember when they were trying to stay in one place in the Bible? And then you know what happened? They were trying to stay in one place to go against God. God split them up, changed all their languages. So they had to what? They spoke different languages that are split up. And that's because God's original plan was to multiply the world. They were going against that. I'm done with this. Thank you guys for watching. See you next video.
Well, the reason why I showed that video, these videos, because it shows you different mindsets of women, the different mindset of why some women are single, why some women haven't met the right man, and what's going on. And it's just confirmation that to me, and to probably the people that watch this video, that's the reason why they're single. It's some of the things that they say out of their mouth. And like I always say, their words are coming back to haunt them. They don't get it. They're their own words. That they always run it to social media, and they always run to these different platforms. And it's coming back to hit on them. So hey, you don't get the men that you want because they didn't meet to your standards. You know, they have to be a certain income standards. And some guys that go overseas, some of them don't make. There's some men don't make $100,000. There's some men that make 80 grand, probably 60, 50, 40 grand, but they make their money stretch overseas. But you got women here that insist that the man should. I won't talk to a man unless he make this amount of money. So, what does that tell the men here to do? That what should you do? That's why these men are leaving, so they will to make arrangements, put the money together, and fly out. And men give other men ideas. Why should we have to put? Why should any man have to put up with that? When you clearly don't want them, you clearly see, what it is that you want to play and have your options, because every woman seems like just about every woman got this mindset, and I think that's why they always they take so many pictures trying to validate, and they get attention just to get attention from other men. And there's women that do that all over, but they want that validation, and they like the excitement and everything. And if you get 100 men, then it's like you can play their emotions, because you use your looks, and you use your like I said, the 3 B's: the butt, the beauty, the booty, and the breast, and think that's it. And yeah, it may look as eye candy as some men would want it, but in the reality of it is, what is they getting out of it? And some men are not, going to just accept anything just because you don't feel like they don't look to your potential. They don't look the way you would find them attractive. So, and some women do that, and there's women that try. They know that some women that it's harder for some men to get women, and so some men, when they have a little kindness reflect on them, they open themselves like some women do, being vulnerable. But these women are like scavenger mindset. They want you so they can have this dude over here, you dating with this guy over here, but you're really attracted to this guy because he has that little edge to him. And he makes you laugh, he makes, and he probably makes a good bedroom partner. And that's what it is. But therefore you got this guy is too lame over here. But the lame guy pays the bills. The lame guy would probably do all these different things. And I heard a woman say that it was on one show that she left her man because he did everything he asked her, he did for her. I kid you not. I said, are you serious? But she just felt like she wasn't attracted to him. That's how entitled, spoiled women in the West we have done this. And the thing about it is, they just can't handle, their ego can't handle that there are other women that want American men, Canadian men, different European men, from Australia, different places, and they can't handle the fact that, yeah, you're not the only woman on the planet. That's what it is. You're not the only woman on the planet. And I don't know, maybe some, but this Western culture got you thinking it like that. And seeing what's going on, the way the society is right now, men are kind of reluctant because if you come off too strong, you stalky. If you make approach and she don't like you, you too creepy. You don't know how to take what women in the West anymore. If you just saying hi, but if you somewhat struck up a conversation, they got to figure out figure out a way to kind of blow you off. But I think that's what it is. I think so, and so I think when the men go overseas, they have a greater option of when they talk and approach a woman. They might have a little bit. They can feel the women out over there, which woman that they want, and there's more women that are men that are looking. As long as those men are looking for a girlfriend, to fiance, to wife, oh, they're there, and they appreciate it, because those women in different countries, when the men are not health-wise, not drinking, smoking, it could be different cases like that, and so, or they just want something a little bit more different, but they don't put down their men. I noticed that all them countries that the passport, I never see any of those women put down their men in all those countries. I never see that, you know. And some are open to dating foreigners and marrying foreigners, but at the same time, they don't put down their men. And that's the truth. But in the West, oh, you see it on video. And what does that say? And women across the world seeing that. So they like, come on over. They don't appreciate you. Come on over. We'll take care of you. They don't want to act like they got some sense. We'll take care of you. And with all these different stipulations and everything. And then you get with any woman, you got to watch what kind of personality a woman like you get. So like the woman, make sure she got all her mental faculties is up there. That's the main thing right there. Once you get past the facade, as Phil said, you got to look for what is her mental faculties is. How does she handle things? How does she handle daily pressures in life? Does she flip out, whatever? Because if she flip out, and, oh my goodness, that's something you decide to go steady with to one day maybe have a life with. That's what you got to put up with. So as they try and see how the men provided. As men, we got to see, are we willing to take and provide, and do we want to deal with that? Do we want to be stressed out? You got gray hair now, your whole hair be full of gray. Over some stress that this woman acting crazy, just to get it off her chest. You know, some women here are like that, man. And their own mouth is their own destruction. It's their own and that's why you have the passport bros. So these, and like I mentioned in other video, these are guys that they wouldn't qualify because, and they heard that you got to make $100,000 to talk to me. You got to make $500,000 to talk to me. You got to spoil it and let me play your emotions so I can have Pookie and Ray over here talk to me. But I really ain't digging you though. But and the same women will sit down there and they'll complain on them. Then they call them dusties, crusties, and everything else. But yet, that these same women call them dusty and crusty. What type of men are? And how come they're not in a relationship? And is their man take care of them? Because if you were a secure woman, you wouldn't be jealous that another. And you have a man for yourself. Looking at the man go overseas, you kind of keep an open mind to it because you got your man. You got the type of man that you're attracted to. There's a certain personality, persona that some women are attracted to that. And in the West, they like, something. Every woman like a certain aggressiveness and assertiveness. I understand that, but to the degree you got to be over the top in the West. With your aggression and your assertive, it's like it's and it's like well, women well, at least over there maybe they understand. They see the alpha male in you. They ain't gonna test you. But in the West, you can't say that about women here. They're gonna rise you up once in a while, and don't let it get to the point that it gets to a domestic violence. Some women get that extreme. So as AC would say, is it worth it? And what does she bring to the table? Is she willing to be what God have her nature to be? A loving wife, a future loving wife. If you're not going to be a future loving wife, what are you complaining about? You independent, solid, and think that the man got to focus and you be the wife husband, and he just be submitting to you. then you know you ain't gonna respect him. So why should he be with you? See, a lot of things women don't. Some of these women that make these videos don't really sit down and think about that. They really don't. Why would you get jealous that normally for a man you wouldn't normally be attracted to? And it's he don't, his persona ain't there, and he must be in their mind. He must be good. He must be a good man, because he must either he got the swag of his tongue, the tool between his legs, and that's the only reason why she deal with him. And he got this man got 5, 10 different kids out there. And I don't see, as a woman, if you the woman with no kids, you see and meet a man with kids, why would you want to open up your womb to a man that's barely take care of his kids, or don't take care of his kids? What does that say when you two have a falling out? I'm just saying. At least some women that when they meet, the smart ones will meet the man, they're gonna have a brain, and so he decided he got to pay child support and spousal support. Yes, them the one, but when you got these women that jump in one relationship and they don't get a ring on it. They get child support, but they won't get no benefits down the road. The child might get benefits, but you're not gonna get it. But she won't get benefits for help down the road, just in case little financial matters happen. Women don't think like that. But anyway, yeah. So, man, be careful what kind of women you get with. Be careful. And as they say, take your time, man. I know it's hard being, I'm by myself too, but I'd rather have somebody that I can tolerate and they can tolerate me. And if we don't, and then see if we click. And really, to the point that it shouldn't matter what her ethnic background is. It's something deeper. Do she have the potential to be a wife? That should be the number one goal. Because after a while, you go from woman to woman to woman to woman, it gets draining. Dealing with all the different personalities of women, it does get draining. So it's something to think about. So alright then, I ain't gonna keep you long, but I hope you guys enjoy this video. Like, share, and subscribe, and just be aware and be blessed, and good luck on who your future mate is, and take their advice. And for the women to come hear this video, the ones that don't do like some of the women they do on the video, let God guide you to the right man, and be ready to be that vessel, to be that what he naturally made the woman to be. Not so strong and not combative, but be a helpmate. Alright then. Take care until next time. Be blessed. See you on next video.